First of all, Rahim, thank you so much for coming here, and it's so pleasure for us to be here in Pakistan and to have this conversation at Jazz, a company operating in incredible scale and complexity. At Evam, we speak with CVM leaders, marketing leaders across different markets, and what we constantly hear is expectations around relevance, timing, and experience are rising faster than organization can execute. So today's conversation is not about solutions, it's not about the tools, it's about learning from your experiences. How customer value management and contextual marketing actually work in real life at Jazz. So my first question for you is, Jazz operates at massive scale across telco and fintech journeys. From your perspective, what has fundamentally changed in customer expectations over the last 2 or 3 years?
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me here. I think the customer expectations have morphed into, different kind of needs, right? So I wouldn't call, so usually the concept over here is that new people have become more demanding and they need more. I actually disagree with that. People are not more demanding anymore. They're more aware, right? So for us, in terms of knowing what they want matters more now actually as compared to as of now, right? And the link between the two would be the defining moment for any operator to sort of contact their customers.
Oh, that's good. So most organizations today have strong CVM strategies on paper actually.
Yeah.
So where do you see the biggest execution gaps when it comes to turning those strategies into real impact?
I would tend to believe that all the organizations working have brilliant people working for them, and the strategies are usually solid, right? And when the challenge comes in terms of execution of strategy, the biggest gap that comes is in the execution part, right? How fast you can collect all that information, how fast you can take those decisions, and how fast you can actually make it done, right? The turnaround time comes into play. Strategies are always there, but they're as good as how well you implement them, right? So implementation is the part where most people struggle, right? Because you have different departments where you have to sort of talk and cut across and get approvals, and in certain cases those delays and those strategies, and sometimes even data fetching for that matter, right? And that could be a great blocker in terms of a fast and effective execution.
So contextual marketing sounds powerful, but also complex.
Yeah.
In practice, what makes real-time decisioning genuinely hard at Jazz scale?
So I think coordination is one of the things that becomes really, really hard, because real-time marketing is something that everybody wants, not a lot of people understand. To ensure what kind of data we need to fetch on a regular basis, it's a very task intensive or process intensive task, right? That becomes a challenge in larger organizations where you have multiple stakeholders wanting the same thing at the same time, prioritizing which campaign should be going out first, which should not be going out, how many times you would be talking to that customer for that matter, right? And we need to start thinking from the customer perspective as well, right? People sitting in boardrooms can make a lot of decisions, but the person who's receiving all those campaigns needs to be taken into consideration as well, right? And that's where you tend to fail at a larger organization. But I think organizations like Jazz have been now fairly structured to simplify this process, and I think real-time campaigns would be the way forward as well in that case.
So there is a lot of noise around AI in marketing. So from your experience, where does AI truly add value today?
All right. So my take on AI is a bit different than most of the people. Right? I believe AI is an enabler for faster execution. It's not going to replace anything. It will help you do things that you used to do faster, right? And I think that's how, and efficiently as well at the same time, right? And I think that AI will not understand the intent of the customer. It will probably make your decision faster, right? And I think that's how it should be used. I think maybe a few years down the road, my stance on this might change, but as of now, I think AI is here. It's a must. We have to use it, but it will only help us do things faster but the intent of what needs to be done still needs to be driven by the product owner.
Beyond technology, what kind of mindset or organization change is required for CVM teams to operate in real time, always on model?
We need to change the thinking, the mindset of people, how they say, instead of and we need to start building our trust on the systems that we have, right? Instead of thinking that person should be given, it should be the system that should be touching, we should start thinking what the system would think about, right? And I think a mindset shift, it's very important, because you see, CVM, earlier on it was, contacting the person, then it became contacting the person at the right time, then it was build contacts, and then have the right person at the right time, and then became have the right channel, have the right, all those check marks, right? So at the end of the day, the mindset shift have to be to ensure to understand what our customer wants and tailor it accordingly, right? And trust the system that you have built on it, right? At times we tend to move away from understanding what the customer wants, and we tend to push things that what we feel is the right for the customer. It's where the sweet spot we miss it, right? Capturing moments is the most important thing as of now, and whoever captures it first is going to be the winner, right? In the entire case.
All right.
And this mindset needs to be there to effectively drive the value out of the tools that we have.
So that's the vision behind that.
That's the vision behind that.
Yeah. When journey become more dynamic and contextual, do traditional CVM KPIs still work, and how has Jazz view of success evolved?
All right, traditional KPIs. I don't think we can make away. We cannot leave the traditional KPIs. Traditional KPIs are here to stay, right? However, with the evolving customer needs, what we need to have a disruptive KPI strategy as well, and that's more customer centric again, right? I'm of a believer that while standard KPIs are good to monitor, but we need to have more disruptive KPIs, like how much traction a customer is giving to us, things that we could track how the customer is feeling, right? We need to build upon KPIs, not sort of discard the old ones. But the old ones won't work for long. It's good again to showcase your own performance internally, but if you want to truly have an impact on a customer's life, you need to ensure that their aspiration, their needs, their wants is translated into KPIs that we track. So let me give you an example for that as well. A customer-centric KPI, when I say that is, how many times did we touch upon him is one. How much noise is he creating, or is he happy or sad on a public platform, right? We need to understand his state as well, right? Happy customers give happy revenue. So that's and what is a happy revenue is something that they're happily spending on it, right? And that kind of revenue would always come back again and again. If he's not happy using your service, he'll probably be using it, but eventually he will probably leave, right? But how to track that, whether he's happy or not? And that's the customer-centric KPI. There are different metrics for that. So it will be a combination of both. You cannot have either one of two.
Last question for the next 2 and 3 years. So looking at 2 or 3 years, what will separate the telcos that win customer loyalty from those that fall behind?
Companies who are able to crack how to identify moments will be the winner, I think. It's not the fastest, not the one who has the most data. It's the most accurate, all right? And you have to be the most accurate. And I think, and at the right time as well, right? So there are multiple factors. Nowadays, back in the day, there were only 1 or 2 touch points, right? Today, the touch points are endless. We have social media, we have in-apps, we have so many other things, right? So I believe the company that would identify those moments more efficiently, quickly, accurately, will be the winner. So it doesn't matter whether you have more data, more speed. It has to be a combination of all of it.
This has been a truly insightful conversation. So what I personally take away is that winning in customer engagement today isn't about having more ideas. It's about acting at right moment with right context at scale. So thank you for openly sharing how you think about CVM, real-time decisioning, and the organizational mindset behind it. And thank you again for your time and hosting us here at Jazz.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.